Hey guys, Forrest Proctor here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to speak to two different audiences. I want to speak to brides that are looking for videographers and videographers that want to up their game and their communication skills with brides. But specifically to you that are planning your weddings, let's talk about the things that you want to look for in a videographer to make sure you're getting the best product and the best customer service. That way you're spending your money wisely, right? So we're going to get into that right now. Before we get into all of this great information that I have spent 10 years acquiring, please do me a favor, like the video and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you great content like this. Now, the very first thing that I would personally look at, and I suggest that you look at, is portfolio and style. You've got to start with something that you like. Just like with your photographer, you probably spotted a photographer in your local area that had a really cool style, whether it be a vintage style, a light and bright style, or a really clean and tidy style. You identified a style that you like, and it could have even been on something like Pinterest. I would use YouTube for video. Go to YouTube and find different video styles that you like, wedding videos that you saw that you really like the style, whether it be long form documentary, highlight videos, maybe it has a vintage look, maybe it's an 8mm film look, and save those to a Pinterest board or save those in some sort of document so that when you're searching videographers in your area, you can find ones that have that style. Now, you can probably find, if you say you're in a bigger area, down here in the South, maybe, let's just say it's Atlanta, right? You're going to find 10 to 12 videographers, and maybe 3 to 4 of those have the style you're looking for or you believe can achieve that style. Now, you're going to go on to the next step. The next step is going to be experience and reviews. See how long the company has existed. They might have been around for 2 years, 5 years, or 12 years. That's going to make a big difference on whether they can deal with all of the crazy things that happen in a wedding, from the scheduling to being there all day long to making sure they've got their batteries and all that good stuff. It's not something you should have to think about, but if they have, the more experience they have, the less hiccups you're going to have along the way. And that's going to also lend itself to some of the other things we're going to talk about with the experience. Now, I have some good friends that are getting married out of the country, and it was not feasible for me to come with them to their wedding, but I am assisting them in helping them find a videographer for their wedding, and that's kind of how this video was birthed, because I said, wow, I should just make a video, and that way she has some information that she can take when planning her wedding, right? And one of the big things that I look for, or I would look for, is reviews, okay? Because if there's any step in their process, the videographer's process, where they're not so good, whether it be in the communication or the delivery or anything like that, it's gonna probably reflect in their reviews. And some places you can find reviews on wedding videographers, probably in tiers, would be Facebook, then it's probably going to be Google, and then probably Wedding Wire or The Knot. Just make sure you go to all of those, and if they have profiles on them, they probably have some reviews. I have around 30 to 40 reviews just on my Facebook, and most of them are with flying colors, like 4.5, 5-star reviews. And I have lots of brides that tell me, yes, we read your reviews, and it talked about how you incorporate yourself into the family, and we didn't even feel like you were working. You were having a great time. You were talking to everybody. You were letting the kids look at your camera, like the monitor. So that's something you really want to look into, is reviews. And if there are any bad reviews, make sure you read them and see what they're actually talking about. If the only bad reviews they're having is like, it was like 2 weeks later than he said it would be delivered, that's the kind of stuff you got to kind of weigh it out. If the style and also if they've done, you see on their YouTube or they're on their Facebook, they've done 45 wedding videos, then they're probably pretty trustworthy in terms of getting the final video to you. But you kind of have to weigh out what people are saying in the reviews. If people are complaining about one thing and it's really not that big a deal to you, you're like, well, I'm not really in a rush to get it. So if he was late one time or she was late one time on the delivery, that's not a big deal, because I really like their style, okay? Now, the next thing you want to address is personality and communication. Now, with my brides, whenever I get an inquiry, I immediately try to get on the phone, because I can sell, and I can not even sell, but I can talk about their wedding with them much better in person or on the phone rather than doing text or email. And what I try to convey to my brides is you really need to find somebody who takes this seriously, because although it might be me as a videographer, it might be my 80th wedding, this is your first, okay? And I have to check myself whenever I get to a wedding. I have to sit there and think to myself right before I get out of the truck, and I say, this is their first wedding and hopefully their last. And so I try to really cherish that for them, because that's important, right? Like, you can get jaded sometimes as a videographer or a photographer, and photographers, sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus, they're real bad about it. I've been doing weddings for 10 years now, and I can't tell you how many photographers talk to me like, I'm so ready to get out of here, this is like the worst thing ever. And I'm like, that's the wrong attitude to have, okay? So get on the phone with your potential videographer, because if they will only communicate with you seemingly through email and text, that is a red flag, okay? I'm not saying don't book them, but I'm just saying they should be willing to get on the phone with you, and within 2 minutes you can probably tell whether they're going to be easy to work with or not. Does it seem like a hassle they're having to take your phone call, or are they excited? Are they like, man, I'm so excited for you, like, I'm just honored to be a part of this. The fact that you would consider me is just an honor in itself, and if you don't choose me and you need some help finding a videographer, let me know. That's kind of my approach to it, and it is genuine, so there's that. You know, you can tell if they're genuine, but it always comes across as caring. I'm not so concerned about getting paid. Like, if I get booked, I get paid. That's just a fact. That's a byproduct. I'm concerned about making sure that their most special day of their life is captured professionally and their story is told and it looks amazing. Okay, so like, that's my goal. And videographers, if you're watching this, make your goal to help people, and the money will just flow to you. You won't have enough time to take the money. If you'll make your overall goal and mission to help people capture their most special day with their family and their loved ones, then the money will come. So make sure the enthusiasm is there and their personality checks out. If you feel like they're just like, yeah, this is how much it is, you want to book or not? No, the answer is no. I don't want to book. Sorry, your attitude's bad. You know, you wouldn't put up with that at McDonald's. I don't put up with it at anywhere in life. If you have a bad attitude, I'll just go to somebody else. I want to be working with someone who has a vision and who really wants to serve others. Like, that's the main thing. So make sure your videographer has that. Okay, the fourth thing that we're going to talk about is packaging and pricing. Some people want the shorter highlight videos, right? That's kind of what I specialize in, the 4 to 8 minute videos that really just cover the entire day. Maybe they have a voiceover of some vowels, maybe it has a little audio sprinkled in here and there, but really it's just something that you can put on once a year with a bottle of wine and watch and, you know, celebrate your anniversary. Now, other folks want long form stuff. They want more of a documentary style, and that's totally cool too. I personally don't do a lot of those. I think I've done maybe 2 out of the 100 weddings or whatever, but you definitely want to make sure that you look at what they offer and look at their previous weddings. I've had brides book me, and then we did the film and they were not happy with the style. They were, sorry, got a phone call coming in. They were not happy with the style. They thought we were going to do the whole ceremony. They wanted the entire dance, not just, 40 seconds of clips of the dance in slow motion. And my, not really argument, but my, rebuttal to that was, well, did you watch any of our videos? Because your video matches the style of all of our videos. And after I brought that up and showed her in the packaging, this is what it said I'm going to do in the contract, this is what I'm going to do, and I did it, she just wasn't, how do I say this? She didn't look at all that. So make sure you're looking at the price and packaging, what it says it offers, what they're going to deliver, and it says it in the contract. And if that's what you want, sign the contract. If that's not what you want, either have to find another videographer, or you can talk to them about, like, hey, is there any way you could film the entire dance? I did that for a couple where the dad was not in great health and she just wanted a little more of dad, and that was totally fine. Once I knew that information, and I said to myself, like, that's not going to take me a lot more effort to edit or capture. Yeah, of course I can do that. I want to work with these families. I want to work with these couples in capturing what's important to them. My goal at the end, and I get this all the time, I want a phone call when they watch it of them crying. And that actually, guys, you'd be surprised, it happens all of the time. I'll get a phone call the day of or the day after we release the video, and it'll be the mom and the daughter like literally crying saying, wow, we underestimated how much work you were doing and how well you captured it. And to me, guys, that's worth way more than the money. And number 5 is going to be backup plan and accommodations for anything that might go awry. In my contract, there is some clauses there that talk about if I'm not available or if something happens in my family where I cannot be there, I do have a backup plan in place. Now, I have some other people that film for me and are highly trained to film in my exact style, so that's really never an issue. But you want to make sure that you don't pay a $1,000 deposit, say, and then the videographer can't show up. And that has actually happened with my company a lot, where we get phone calls saying, hey, we paid this guy $1,000, we cannot get in touch with him, can you guys come do it? And in those cases, I guess I just have a lot of like sympathy on the couple. I'll normally give them a little bit of a discount because they've already paid somebody $1,000 and the guy never showed up. Now, that's something I would take somebody to small claims court over probably, but you know, I'm not telling you to do that. This is not legal advice. My advice is to make sure that whenever you look at the contract or you speak with a videographer, that they have a backup plan for something that might go wrong. And you could always have a backup plan too. You could have at least a list of videographers who are available and maybe could step in. But if your videographer is good, they have a system in place, they say they're going to be there, they're going to be there. The main thing is make sure they're willing to communicate. If they're not willing to communicate, big old Chinese communist red flag. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you got a lot of value out of it, whether you're a bride or a videographer. If you're a videographer, just be all the things I was talking about and you'll be just fine. If you're a bride, make sure you're looking for that kind of stuff. If you have any more questions, you can go to my website, Epic Creative Group, or epicfilmandphotography.com. Shoot me a message through the contact portion of the page. If you're in the Southeast or really anywhere in the country in the United States and you need a super reliable, passionate videographer, I would love to be considered for that, and I'd love to chat with you about your big day. Give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Peace.